This is Real Generational Wealth. Live from Southern California, this is Abby, Espy, and Jen.
Hi, guys.
Hi, everyone.
Happy Wednesday.
Hello.
Thank you all for tuning in to Real Generational Wealth, where we have over 50 years of combined experience making sure you and your family always have a place to call home. So today, we're going to help you to get your home prepared for sale. So stay tuned for some tips and tricks to help get you top dollar. So let us know where you're watching from, and if you're watching us live, hashtag live in the comments. If you're catching us on the replay, hashtag replay. So last week we took a quick break because we wrapped up our buyer series 2 weeks ago, and also because Abby was in Hawaii.
I was on a plane, so I couldn't do the episode. But if you guys are planning to take a trip to Hawaii, it's pretty easy. Just have to have a negative COVID test and upload the test, and just make sure that you verify that you're negative when you check into the airport in Hawaii. And then coming back, we didn't need a COVID test. But the only thing that surprised me was that on the plane, it was pretty packed. So we flew American, and there was three people in the row. The plane was packed. But I guess you have to have a negative COVID test to be in Hawaii. So coming back, most likely you won't have COVID, hopefully. But on the whole island, there was 50 COVID cases, like in the entire place. So it's pretty safe. They are strict when you're eating in a restaurant. You have to put your email address, your address, your info, your phone number, just to make sure they can track any COVID cases that happen. Yes, exactly. So, okay. So, Espy, why don't you tell us about your week last week?
My week, actually, this week is the more interesting for me.
Oh, really? Anything new?
Well, it is today. I was at church. I went to church in Santa Monica.
Oh, nice.
And it's Ash Wednesday for the Catholics. So,
That's true.
yeah, I was. It was an outdoor mass, and you have to register for you to attend. And so when you arrive, they take your temperature, they ask you all the questions, and then they have to confirm that you had a reservation, and then you go to this huge parking lot that they converted into church. We have the altar, and then two chairs or one chair or four chairs together, folding chairs. And it was at 9 o'clock. It was so beautiful, nice and sunny with a blue sky. So I was really teary when I was while this while I was at the mass, because it was my first time to really be outdoors, and then attending a church, and congregation, and listening to the homily, the Word of God, and the message, and it's really a good message today because it's Ash Wednesday, and we're talking about charity and about forgiveness, about love and all that. And I'm just so excited about this week, actually, because it's just like a new week. After all the commotion that we have up to last week was so stressful. And I said to myself, okay, well, that's done. Let's go back to work. Right?
Yeah.
So that's basically what, what's happening to me this week, and so I'm more excited about Jen. How was Puerto Vallarta?
Ooh.
It was amazing. I got this cool hand woven sweater. Wanted to wear it today for the show. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I went with 6 of my friends. So there were 7 of us, all inclusive. We paid $600 each for the flight plus the hotel, all inclusive hotel.
Oh my
So
gosh, that's so cheap.
yeah, it was super cheap. We booked it. I think we booked it in November. Super cheap, tons of fun. Um, it's a little different than Hawaii because Abby, you had mentioned that you got to take a COVID test going there.
Yeah.
No COVID test required to go to Mexico, but you do need it to come back to America.
Oh.
So, I mean, if anybody watching is planning to go leave the country, check with your resorts. Typically,
Yeah.
the resorts do include it with your stay. Otherwise, you probably just have to go to a local hospital or something. But yeah, so we were able to test before we left, and you have to prove the negative. You have to show the negative results before you even can get on the plane.
So is it a rapid test
Yes,
or okay?
it was a rapid
So
test.
it's not the
At least
where they
our
go all the
resort
way
offers
in.
rapid test. Huh?
It's not the test where they go all the way up, like that PCR
Well,
test.
no, this guy actually went pretty far up and touched our brain still. So,
Oh, they touch your brains. Ugh.
I mean, that's what it feels
There you
like. It's
go.
like all the way up here. So,
It goes up pretty high.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was nice though because he like did it really softly, but he still went
Yeah.
pretty far up. But
That's cool.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
nice.
I did it when I went to the Philippines last November. And they did two swabs. One from the nose and one from the mouth.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, right after you get off from the plane, before you even go to the immigration, you have to do
Oh
your
yeah.
test. Yeah, and you have to pay for it.
So did
Oh,
you take PAL? Like was it
Yeah,
nonstop?
yeah, nonstop. And then we did that. And then right after you get off from the plane, and then from the customs, it was easy. No hassle. But you go straight to the hotel. You need to have your own shuttle
Mm-hmm.
by yourself, and that shuttle will take you from the airport to the hotel. And then in the hotel, they have a portable sink. You have to wash your hands, you know,
Uh-huh.
before you go
and
in.
they do the sanitation, and they did, and they ask you all these questions and take your temperature, and then you just go to the registration, check in, and they will escort you to your room. You don't go out.
Oh
That's it.
wow. That's just
Yeah.
it's straight lockdown.
It's straight
Wow.
lockdown, and they leave your food in a brown paper bag outside the hotel, outside your room.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
what hotel was that?
I think it's a Diamond Hotel. It was right along Rojas Boulevard.
Oh yeah, like Manila Bay
Yeah.
area.
Yeah. At least I could see the sunset and take some pictures,
Uh-huh.
but then otherwise you're just inside your room. But right now, when I was asking around, because I was thinking of going to the Philippines sometime this month. Usually I go there and visit my mom. It's
Mm-hmm.
14 days of quarantine, and they don't test you not until you get to your quarantine hotel that they choose for you,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and on the fifth day they take your test.
Wow.
Oh,
You
You
know,
have to wait
I've
there
been
for 5 days.
wanting to go because I haven't seen my dad's haven't visited my dad's grave yet.
Oh.
So I've been wanting to go, but
Hmm.
it's just a 14-day quarantine. It's like, and my
Yeah.
husband will be on vacation.
Hmm.
Once they eliminate that, I think it'll be a lot easier to go.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah. We have a lot of people watching with us.
Yes, I know, huh?
thank
Thank
you.
you guys
Jennifer
for
is
watching.
here.
Jennifer, hi Henry.
Yeah,
Hi
Henry.
Yancy. Yes, it's
And
Ash Wednesday, Henry. So don't eat meat today. My husband reminded me too. He took out all
yeah.
the lechon kawali we made yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So it's just mungo, mungo with
Oh,
nothing.
Mongo with
Um,
no chicharon.
no chicharon, not even shrimp, because my kids pick out all the shrimp.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And yeah.
Ah,
Hi Jennifer. Hi at the AJ. Okay, so we got a lot of
yeah.
people watching right now.
Yes,
Got a
yes.
lot
Awesome.
of
So let's
people tuning
start.
in
Yeah.
today.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome,
Okay.
because we have a lot in store for you guys. Yeah, we are basically going to talk today about getting your house, I'm sorry, prepared for sale. So, for those of you who have been reading online, I mean, actually, even our last several episodes, we've been talking about how hot the market is right now. interest rates are an all-time low, right? So you've got buyers coming out of the woodworks wanting to buy with demand so high, but we don't have as much inventory. So if you have a house to sell, we could help you get top dollar, basically. And it'll probably fly off the shelves within a couple days.
Yes.
I mean, we're seeing multiple offers on everything. I know I am here in LA. I know SB is because she's also in LA. Abby, I'm sure.
20 plus offers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's echoing. Hello,
Yeah, we
hello.
call the shots.
That's true. It's a seller's market. So if you guys are on the fence about selling, now's the time, especially because it's right before springtime.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's why you wanna. Oh, I do hear the echo. Oh my god. Hello, hello. All right. So there's obviously.
So do you want me to start, Jen?
Is it better? Can you hear me?
It's better. I
Okay.
think you're good.
There's always there's a few things you want to do to make sure that you get your house ready for sale, right? Regardless of, it's a lot of echo. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Abby.
it's off and on, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Um, I'll make it pretty short and quick in case it keeps going on and off. I mean, the number one thing you want to do when you are interested in selling your house is you want to declutter, right? You have some people who've been living in their houses anywhere between a couple years to 20 plus years. And if you're there for that long, you obviously have a ton of stuff in the house. So first things first, declutter. Start getting rid of the things you no longer need. Start putting things in storage. You want to make the space look as big as possible. You want to depersonalize. You want to make a home as neutral as possible because you want to let the buyers be able to visualize themselves in the house, right? Things like that. I know one thing a lot of my seller clients ask me is, should I fix it? Should I forget it? If you know there's a leaky sink, fix the leaky sink. If you know that there's a squeak in the door, the window doesn't close tight, try and get that fixed. But there's no need to fully remodel a place. Most buyers, if it needs remodeling, they'll want to come in and remodel it how they want to remodel it anyway, right? They're going to want to put their own personal touches and things like that.
Yeah, so get rid of your family photos. Not get rid of it, but remove the family photos.
Put away.
The purple curtains, the 40-year-old curtains, just so, like what Jen said, just so people can picture themselves living in the home.
Right. I mean, a lot of people sometimes I've had buyers walk into houses and they're just like, yeah, I mean, it's the style of things in there just throws them off. And a lot of buyers have a hard time looking past the personal items. So it's really important to depersonalize.
Yeah.
And otherwise spruce it up, light some candles so it smells good. You want to make it pleasant for showings. I've shown quite a few properties where it doesn't smell good. And we didn't want to walk through the property, so my buyers walked out.
Jennifer's asking a question. Is it better for the home to be empty?
I would say it's best to be as empty as possible. However, I've had situations where a staged home helps sell a property better than a completely vacant home.
It gives you dimensions. It gives you dimension.
If there's odd shaped rooms, I feel like staging will help. Like where if it's hard to picture how furniture is going to fit in a certain room, I think that's where staging helps. But for the most part, I think having it empty is preferable.
Yeah.
Just because it's easier to use your imagination and put your SB, where'd you go? And then put your furniture in there.
But yes, as vacant, as empty as possible, right? You want to make the space look bigger. But like Abby had mentioned, it also shows how you can personalize the space. Like the one thing I get is, where do you put a TV? And
yes. Like, does it go above the fireplace?
I don't know what happened to SB. We'll see if she comes back on.
But what I like to do too is use Glade and put Hawaiian smells in there. Put Hawaiian scents, because sometimes people remember how a room smells and they're like, oh yeah, that's the house that smelled like the Hawaiian flowers or something. So I think those little touches do help sell it. SB, are you there?
I'm back. I'm back.
I don't see your face. Well,
I
Yeah,
here.
know.
how do we see you?
Jen has to put me back.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Thanks for watching, EJ. Thank you guys for watching. Hi, Anne. Hi, Ornella. Hi, other Anne.
I see it's still in your picture.
There's a lot of Anns and
Our
Jens and Jennifer.
SMBG family here.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for
Thank you
supporting.
for watching us. Yeah.
SBA, I think
Yes.
you need to go into your settings to turn, I don't know what's up with your camera.
Oh, you're right, huh? Start cam. Okay.
Sorry, guys, for those of you watching, just a little bit of our technical difficulties. Thanks for being patient.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm back. Sorry for
Welcome
that
back.
interruption. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
so
Okay.
yeah, as I
Hey,
was just
Abby, I'm
saying,
sorry. Yeah.
you're good. You're good. You just want to declutter as much as possible. I guess to piggyback off of your one question, if it's better to be empty, some of the multi-million-dollar homes that I've sold, some sellers leave their furniture. They take out all of their personal items, you know, your picture frames, your clothes, and everything, but you leave some of the furniture because most of the time the furniture is sold with the property and it's negotiated in the price.
That's true. Like I remember when we bought our house in Ladera Ranch, we bought the custom furniture that went with it. It was like $20,000 worth of furniture, but it was kind of like Hawaiian chic, and we just knew that with the custom curtains that they had in there, if we had gotten furniture from like Ashley or just regular furniture, I don't think it would have matched.
Yeah, it would be matching. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, sometimes it's nice to get the furniture, or a lot of the $1 million homes, you do get the furniture with it. But so when people do that, do they usually write it in the contract to include the furniture, or do you do a separate contract,
But it has
a
to be a
separate
separate.
addendum?
We did a bill of sale.
Part of an addendum, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Because
It should
sometimes they
be
want all
separate.
of it, sometimes they only want some of it. You know, you can actually itemize the list.
Plus,
Yeah,
it would affect the appraisal too, because
it
like
would.
if you're buying $20,000 worth of furniture, like it has to appraise for that extra
Yeah.
$20,000.
Because the appraiser is going to want to see that, to see the contract too, you know.
That's
Okay.
He's
true.
going to ask that from the lender. If
Yeah.
there's any concessions that was done, you know, for personal property. So
Mhm.
usually you put that in a separate addendum or a bill of sale. That's what it's called, bill of sale. Yeah. So yeah, most of the time, if it's like a big home, you know, luxury home, um, usually the furniture just kind of like matches the home, you know, so that when a buyer comes in, they would think this furniture matches the house, so they would rather just use that furniture, you know, some of the furniture that they have, not really the personalized ones, but the
Right.
personal belongings, you know, like the mattress, or they buy their own mattress.
That's
But
true.
yeah, I sold one where they have a huge outdoor patio, right, and a set
Mhm.
and a nice pool. So they bought the whole, everything outside was included. You know, they have huge planters with trees on it that are in a separate planter, right?
Mhm.
We have echoes again. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So
No, that's true. Because if you have,
mhm,
let's say if you have furniture that's custom fit to your home, like we
mhm.
have in our living room, I think our couch is like, I don't know, 20 feet, or it's a huge sofa. So it was kind of semi custom. Like in the next home, the room might not be the same.
Right.
So it'll be hard to transfer that sofa to that room. So it's totally understandable if the furniture is included in the sale of the home. And then also, Jen, you mentioned some minor things about sprucing up the house, like
Yeah.
fixing little things. I think it gives your potential buyers the impression that you've taken good care of the house.
Right.
But whereas if you leave it as is, like if you say, oh, I'm just going to sell the home as is, and I don't want to fix the leaky faucet, and I don't want to do these things, then the buyer is kind of going to be like, oh,
The heat turned off to it.
what else did they not fix?
Right.
Like, oh, the
Yeah.
seller didn't take care of the home. I'm gonna offer them less. I
Yeah.
see a leaky ceiling. Like, I think let's just offer them 10,000 less because they probably didn't take care of the other stuff in the home. So
Yeah.
that's something to think about.
Commented here that a well-lit house helps too. So yes, as a seller, you want to make sure you change all of your light bulbs.
Yes,
You have matching light bulbs because sometimes you have white and you have
and
yellow.
yellow.
And clean the windows.
Yes.
I usually have the house cleaned, you know.
Yes, like a professional cleaner, because there's
Mhm.
people that clean windows, like, and they just clean windows, so they make
Yeah.
it nice and shiny.
Big difference.
Yes, it makes a big
Yeah.
difference. So,
Mhm.
do you want to answer some of the questions, Jen, or what do you think?
Ferris asked here, what would you suggest for owners? What's for owners to do if all the rooms are different because the rooms are being once a kid's room, etc. So I personally have all my sellers, if they could, paint the house white completely.
Mhm.
Like
Eggshell.
you want to neutralize the property as much as
Yeah,
possible.
like sandcastle,
Yeah.
eggshell sandcastle. Yeah, something
Yeah.
neutral, right? Not red.
I mean,
Not
you
red
also don't.
walls.
I mean, I know it's hard, especially if you're living in the home and things like that, but you just want to neutralize the property as much as possible.
Mhm.
Yes, because sometimes kids' rooms they have like Ninja Turtles or Mickey Mouse, like, and the person that's looking at the home, maybe it's going to be a room for their mom.
Yeah.
Like their mom doesn't really want to be in a room with Mickey Mouse walls and Ninja Turtles.
Or glittering stars in the ceiling.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah, stars glowing in the ceiling. So
Yeah.
You want to make
Yeah.
it as attractive as possible for the most people.
Mhm.
yes, yeah, you want to have it appeal to the most people as possible. So, or just appeal to the masses.
Yeah, and also outside, the curb appeal makes a big difference
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, like putting sod. Like if you have dead grass, maybe put
Mhm.
sod. But nowadays, it's more environmentally friendly to do artificial turf because you don't
Mhm.
have to water it. And right now, water is getting more expensive, so that's something to think about. If you do put your home up for sale, you can try putting grass. Like what is that? The feeding the like when you put that green stuff on it and then it grows into grass, but it takes longer.
Oh, the sod,
It,
yeah.
yeah, it doesn't look as nice
Mhm.
as when you buy the sod that's already
And
grass
lay it
and
off
you
like
lay
a
it out.
carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm. Well,
Um,
think of it this way: if you want top dollar for your home, you have to spend a little bit more time and some money on it.
Yeah.
You
yes,
don't
exactly.
necessarily have to really upgrade it totally, but you know, um, depending on your target, if you can usually sellers look around their neighborhood and see what's selling, and even though you cannot take a look at the inside right now, they can do it in a virtual all these virtual um
Oh yeah, virtual staging.
virtual, yeah,
Yeah.
but open houses, so you can see different homes now in your neighborhood, how it looks like inside. And so when you're going to sell your home, you want to be as competitive as you can around the area, right?
Right.
Yeah, that
That's
way you
true.
can get the top dollar. Yeah. Yeah.
True. Like for my recent listing that just closed yesterday, we did Matterport. So Matterport, in case you guys don't know, or the homeowners out there, when you put your house on the market, Matterport has your floor plan, and then you click on a certain area in the house, and it takes you there as if you're walking through the home. So this
Mhm.
way, it eliminates the number of people going in and out of your house, and passing their germs, or it it eliminates the need to have to disinfect
Right. As many. Yeah.
with every showing. Or well, it does limit the showings to people that are serious about buying the home because they've already seen it and they've already pretty much walked through the home.
Yeah.
So that's something that has been more popular during COVID, is using Matterport, and it's like a virtual reality walkthrough of the home.
Oh, like a
Mhm.
dollhouse walkthrough.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also, okay, so what am I talking about? Where to go? So one of the things we wanted to talk about was preparing your home for sale. Jen talked about decluttering and doing minor things, but how about the seller situation? Like, why is the seller selling, or why is the seller moving?
Where are they going to next, basically?
Yes, where are you going to next, pretty much. So the sale that I was talking about, the one that closed yesterday, she the home was pretty much empty. So it was very easy to have people go in and out of the home. This one, honestly, I priced it like 100,000 over market value. She had it less than a year and it sold. It appraised and it sold. And I've been getting all these calls from agents like, how much is it pending for? How much is it pending? We need a comp. We need a comp.
Comps.
So
Yeah.
this home set the market 699 a square foot in Mira Mesa. So it's like, I think the nearest one was like 400 something. So that one was very easy because the home was left empty. And whereas I have another listing coming up. This one is for a home in Terramore. It's a luxury retirement community in Temescal Valley. So this one, they're waiting for the next home to be built. So they're going to be home when people are going in and out of the house, or they're still occupying the home. This one's owner occupied. So in this case, I would probably be at the home during all the showings just to make sure that no one touches my client's stuff and they don't touch everything. And also, I'm going to be requiring pre-approvals, proof of funds, and just making sure that the person that's going to the home is qualified. Because when people are still living there, you don't want an army of buyers going in and out of the home. Not while COVID is so.
Especially now it's COVID. Yeah.
Yes, so it really depends on where you're going to next. And my clients' their next home won't be built until August, so we might have to do a lease back, or they might have to move twice, which they don't want to do. They probably won't do. So most likely we would do a lease back, which means that they would probably lease the home from the new buyer. They will end up being the renters, and the buyers will be the homeowners, and they would lease it from the new homeowners for up to 60 days. Because if it's more than 60 days, it turns into an investment property for the buyers. So the lenders don't like that. So it should only be up to 60 days. And then again, escrow will keep some of the money, maybe like $4,000 in escrow, and then that gets released to the buyers, or the new homeowners once my clients move out. So
like a security deposit,
yes,
similar to a security
it's a
deposit.
security deposit to make sure like they move out or that they don't damage the place. Yes, exactly. It's mostly for damage because you can do
Move
the
out
walk.
damage.
Yes, you can do the walkthrough before the property closes, but there needs to be another walkthrough because when you take yeah, exactly. So once a new owner moves in, they want to make sure that the previous owner didn't have any damage, or didn't make scuffs on the floors and did other things. So that's why it's required to put some money into escrow. Okay, so SB, why don't you tell us about selling a home to retire, and also Prop 19.
Yeah. So let me see. I noticed Alan J. Bautista has a question there
Okay, yeah,
regarding when
let's
you're
answer questions
refinancing.
first.
Yeah. So when you're just refinancing, the, usually they just do a drive-by. They don't really go inside your house and measure it. Um, but depending on your loan to value too. So if it's really like very close to like 90% or so, then the appraiser is just really going to be more tedious, to really see the condition of the home, especially inside. But you
But
don't need to do a live staging. You just don't want to have like faucet running off, overrunning the bathtub, or your sink is all clogged up, or water damage in the floor. things like that, you know.
That's
So,
true.
but yeah, yeah. So, your question, Abby, is that how about the baby boomers when they're moving? Okay, there's a big thing that I've been really excited about right now as a baby
Mm-hmm.
baby boomer myself, is the Prop 19. So before there was besides the Proposition 13, we had the Prop 6090, where if you've lived in your house for a long time and then you are now 55 years old or over, on the old law of 50, Prop 6090, there are certain counties that would allow you to move, whether the same county where you are, like LA County, or if you're going to move to another county, which is a Prop 90, let's say move to from LA County to Riverside County, that's Prop 90. You can take your um, tax assessment right now and move to a brand new house, but it has to be equal or lower in value of the house that you sold, you know. So if I'm living here in LA County and I have my property tax right now at $2,000 because I've lived here for the last 20 years, okay, even if I sell my house for like $1 million and then buying a house in Riverside for, let's say, 400,000, then I can take my $2,000 property tax and bring it with me in Riverside and pay $2,000, initially. That would be my base assessed value. That's the amount of tax I'm going to be
Oh my
paid.
gosh, that would be a dream.
Right.
Have that
So,
for property taxes. My goodness.
yes, yes. So right now it's even better because Prop 19 covers the whole of California. You
Yeah.
don't have to be in a certain county. So
And it's not just
there's
once. It's
right. So there's different caveats. But for baby boomers actually who wants to move out, you know, like for instance, a lot of us have houses that we lived on for about 20, 30 years and we're tired of the house, you know, but we cannot move because I said, well, where am I going to move? I can't afford to move because my
Yes.
property tax is going to jack up, right? If I'm going
Mhm.
to buy 5,000, 800,000 home, I'm going to be prepared to pay a property tax of about $8,000 or more, right? Yeah. So with the Prop 19, I can transition from this house that I'm paying $2,000 and I can move to that house that's 800,000, okay? And bring my $2,000 property tax to the new home and
at the
use
higher
that as my
value.
tax base. Yeah, the
Yeah.
higher value. And now with the Prop 19, you can move up or you can move upwards or downwards. In other words, I can buy a $2 million home or I can buy an 800,000 or 400,000 home, you know. There's just adjustments that you have to do. But because the law is too new right now, all the little details and mechanics of it are still being honed right now by the legislature, you know. So for me as a seller, where I'm gonna move. So if I'm on the seller's seat right now, I will decide, okay, if I'm going to transition, where do I want to go? I would say that you have to really think before you even sign your listing contract as to what you want to do. Do you want to move in the same county? Do you want to move to Texas?
The
You know,
Philippines.
or to the Philippines, So there are different grades of preparing on where you're going to move.
Right.
Right now, I have a seller that is really concerned about how am I going to move and then buy a house, because my mom is arriving from the Philippines. And I need to buy a single family home ranch style because my condo right now is two-story and I'm on the upper level. So, and then I'm concerned because there's multiple offers. I don't want to be homeless by the time that, somebody buys my house and I'm still not ready to buy a house. So those are things that are topics and talking points with your realtor. You need to have a plan how you're going to do it. See? And you need to have plan A and plan B and probably plan C, you know so the most ideal is for you to stay put in your house while you're selling it and have rent back, just like what Abby is saying. That way you only do a one move,
Yeah.
right? and discard whatever you don't need. So I say, okay, think about it. What are you going to take with you? Because if you're not going to use that item for the last, if you haven't used some of your items for the last 5 years, it most probably you're not going to be using them anymore.
Yeah.
So this
That's
is the
true.
best. Yeah, this is the best time for you to go to Salvation Army, donate little by little, throw it in the garbage bin. Take away all these old files that you have. Because the less you move, the cheaper it is for you, the easier it is for you,
Oh yeah,
right?
moving is so expensive. Like sometimes
Yeah,
it's $5,000, $10,000, and the furniture is not even worth that much.
right,
Why take
right.
it? Why take it with you?
Yeah, yeah. So you want to have your client be, as a realtor would say, okay, well, the best scenario is for you to stay here in this house. Now, if it's not, and then you like the offer, then what is plan B? You can either stay with your relatives and put the stuff in a storage,
Yeah.
or you can stay in a hotel if you want. But those are things that you have to discuss beforehand. That way, when the offer comes in, you're ready,
You're ready.
Yeah, because you don't know what offers you're going to get, right?
That's true.
You can have an
Yeah,
offer like tomorrow, or you can have an offer like 30 days from now.
because you can get a cash offer that's over market value, and they're like,
Hmm.
"Oh, we want to move in 2 weeks.
Now,
You
yeah.
need to be
Right,
out in 2 weeks."
right. So you need to have all those options in a row. That way you don't get stressed out, because the more ready you are, the better for you, then you less stress. And number one is, while Jen is saying declutter, like what Abby was saying, is that maybe use a storage. It's always good to get rid of what you don't really need,
Yeah.
you know, and that way it's easier for you to move. It's cheaper for you to move. It's not as stressful and hectic, because if you only have to load a few boxes in one time, rather than going back and forth, or going to a storage and then moving again to the house, then that's going to be too much of a story, too long of a story for you in your transition.
That's true. And if you just put your furniture out, you never know who's going to buy it. Like with me and my husband in our first apartment, or you never know
Hmm.
who's going to get it. Like
Hmm.
in our first apartment, we just left our furniture outside, and after 30 minutes, it was gone. So it was like a big IKEA sofa and other stuff. And when
Yeah.
we went to go eat, and then we came back and we're like, wow, it's gone. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
you never
Yeah.
know who needs your furniture.
Yeah,
So
sometimes it's junk for you, and some people it's a gem.
it's
Yeah.
You know,
treasure. Yeah, it's a treasure for someone
That's
it's a
true.
else.
treasure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, hi, Lani. I have my client here watching.
So we have
Hello.
a few more
Hi.
questions here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Um,
Jen's here. Hi, Jen. Thanks. I'm also you guys, I'm wearing this top from Jen Villar, my fellow small business owner. This is called the
Uh,
Sophia top from Be About the Box.
yep.
So
uh,
super cute and
Sophia,
very
it
comfy.
looks sexy on you, Abby. Sophia
Oh,
Loren, baby.
I don't usually wear sexy stuff, but yeah, it does make me feel nice. So
You have a
yeah.
Nice.
peekaboo there.
We have a
Um,
few questions.
okay.
Henry's asking here, would you recommend live staging versus virtual staging or no staging? So for me, it depends on the property,
Mhm.
right? Our luxury homes, we always stage.
Yeah.
Luxury homes always have furniture in them. Um, Usually when they're 4 or 5,000 square feet or above, you have to have furniture in there so people can see what you can do with the space.
Mhm.
Um, Live staging I do for some of our properties, like Abby had mentioned earlier. If you have an awkward room where you don't know where you would place the couch or
Yes. Yeah.
you wanted to find a space so that basically a buyer can picture themselves in there.
Mhm.
And then I guess virtual staging would be for properties other than that.
Mhm. See,
Okay.
interesting enough, buyers, when you go when they go into your house, they make this decision like within
The
even less
moment
than
they walk
30
in.
minutes. Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes it's the
It's
moment they
like,
walk in. They're like,
yes, yes, this is it.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
it's
it's good to make a good first impression
yeah,
with
first
nice
impression.
staging, or having the home empty and clean, or having the home
Mm-hmm.
decluttered and all the countertops empty, because the buyers, they get distracted with clutter. Like, I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
I really hate clutter, so I always try to tell my clients, like, please, take everything off the counters. And I don't know if you guys do this, but I give like a guide, like a
Mm-hmm.
step-by-step guide
Yeah.
to my clients,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like, to prep their home so that they can get rid of some stuff, or
Mm-hmm.
they can stuff everything in the garage if they don't want to pay for storage, because people are used to seeing the garage full of stuff.
Right.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I just tell them, put it in there if you don't want to pay for storage. And then sometimes they have to get a pod or pay for storage because they have so much clutter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, clutter sometimes, so all the potential sellers out there, clutter, sometimes it's a deal breaker for the buyer. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this person's a hoarder. They didn't take care of the house. So
It's a distraction.
Yeah.
yeah, it distracts them from picturing themselves in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So please declutter before you sell your home.
Mm-hmm.
So we have another question. Welcoming are buyers to the idea, how welcoming are buyers to the idea of a rent back situation with the state of today's market?
So in today's
Depends.
market, a lot of them are willing to do a lease back, but it depends on their situation too. Like, if they have a
Mm-hmm.
lease where they need to be out, or they either they're out or they have to renew the lease,
Yeah.
sometimes they're not okay with doing a lease back. But
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, since a lot of homes are like 20 offers, 30 offers, if it's a hot property, then usually before the seller even accepts the offer, they'll put it in there that you must
Mm-hmm.
be okay with doing a lease back. Like,
Yeah.
because if there's even if there's 5 offers, let's say, the seller will do a counter offer, and just give them the terms. Like, whoever's okay with these terms and then this
They
price,
call the
That's who gets
we'll
the
shots.
go with
property.
you. Like, there's no negotiating. This is what we
Yeah.
want. Then yeah, the ball's
Mm-hmm.
in their court, basically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, as a seller, right now you have all the leverage, you call the shots.
To
But
seller's market.
then when you change hat and you become a buyer, then of course, it's a different story, right? So you need to be able to prepare for that, you know.
yes.
So since you are, for instance, if you're selling right now, then you use that as a leverage and say that up front that you may need to lease back or rent back or
Or do a
things like that. Mm-hmm.
contingent to close, like concurrent close. Like, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of sellers are doing that now. Like, you have to
Yeah.
close, it's contingent on the seller closing concurrently on their next property. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times sellers do that if they need the proceeds from the sale of the home,
Mm-hmm.
to get their next home. So
Yeah.
they do that concurrent close.
Yeah. Well, there's some people who would say, "Oh, how about bridge loan?" Have
Oh
you
yeah.
ever done a bridge loan? Because for me, I would not recommend it because it's expensive and it can be too complicated.
Yeah, it's
I don't
expensive.
really recommend that.
The fees aren't worth it for the buyer.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
instead of doing a bridge loan, go live at home with, or mommy and dad.
Crash at mom and dad's for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, or get a hotel. It'll probably cost less
Yeah.
than doing a bridge loan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a bridge loan, that's like a hard money loan, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. The fees are high. They're thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So it's
And
just not.
sometimes you don't really know it up front. It's only when you're starting to, pay it off, then you see all the additional cost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you'll be surprised that your seller's net is going to be a lot less,
Less.
because a bridge
Yeah.
loan is when you're selling your house and then you take money from your house that you're selling, you know, to do a bridge loan so you can buy a house, right? So sometimes you have a net of, let's say, a certain dollar amount. And if you take a bridge loan, sometimes you don't really realize how much the cost of the bridge loan. And by the time that you close and you are closing on your the house that you're buying, you'll realize you don't have enough money to close it because
Oh
the
yeah.
bridge loan is more expensive than you thought.
That's
Right.
the worst feeling. It's like I thought I was gonna get this much money, but now it's only this much.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
I shouldn't have gotten that bridge loan.
that's right. Yeah. So anyway,
I did want to piggyback off of what you were talking about, Prop 19 SB,
oh
and
yeah, yeah,
how,
yeah, right.
Yes.
because I know you were mentioning how obviously all the advantages that you have baby boomers and what they're getting out of that, right? You
Mm-hmm.
have all your options, but I know it also affects children or millennials, people my age, a lot of us who, not a lot of us because I don't, but some millennials who are inheriting properties, from their
Right.
parents.
Yeah.
You have some situations where parents bought the house 30 plus years ago, house is
Mm-hmm.
paid off, property taxes are based on a house that was worth $85,000, right? And so you have
Mm-hmm.
all that, but now as a child or as a kid, or as an adult, as a child, as a child, you've inherited the property. So before Prop 19 passed, you could use the house as a primary residence, and you would be able to take the tax basis as well. But now I think if you inherit the house and you use it as a primary residence, only up to 1 million is exempt, right,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
from the new property tax. Otherwise, anything above 1 million would be subject to a new reassessed value.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're a child and you inherit a property and you already have property, so you want to use this inherited property as a vacation property or a rental home, there is no exclusion. You
Yeah.
will be reassessed. You will not be able to transfer the tax basis at the cheaper property price. So that may be a reason for you to sell if you can't afford the new tax basis on the new assessed value.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We have another question. Let's see. As for preparing the selling of the house, sometimes the buyer can have a question about moving and packaging, especially if they are elderly. What advice do you give them, or do you recommend any? And if so, how can we be sure that the recommendation won't bite us in the butt
Mm-hmm.
Back.
in the back?
SB, do you want to take that question?
Yeah.
Mm, if
And
they're elderly, okay, usually uh, it is recommended that you try you dispose of most of your properties already. And usually when I list for somebody who's moving out and they have kids, then we talk about think about who wants some of your stuff, you know because I would elderly couples, usually I would recommend them to really get rid of most of their stuff, you know but if not, if they want to carry all of them, then it is a preparation. You have to budget your movers. You need to prepare for a moving company, and your realtor should be able to help you put that together for you.
mhm.
So an elderly couple cannot really be as flexible as just like what we are. We're still strong. You can still carry boxes, pack items. But for elderly couples, usually, I don't really recommend that they start doing that themselves, because if they just fall in one of the ladders and that's it, broken hip, right? Then
Oh
they
yeah.
go to the care home, or assisted living. So otherwise, you have to really be smart when you are an elderly, and I would say move as the and keep the least item that you can have. If you can give it to some of your family, the best. That's the best way to do it. Otherwise, donate most of it and just live minimally in the next house. If you want to take some of of your furniture, of course you want to get the basic ones. You still need a mover to do that for you. And that should be part of your budget on moving to the next house.
Very good advice, SB.
Thank you.
So there you have it. You have many advantages in selling in today's hot market.
Yeah.
So if any of you are interested in selling, be sure to hashtag sell in the comments below. And be sure to also tune in next week. We will talk about the comparative market analysis, how we can figure out the best price for your home, and we'll walk you through the rest of the selling process as well. Have a good night, guys.
Yay. Bye,
Yeah.
guys.